Okay, this is Brant back, tradeguild.blogspot.com, and we're looking at some more long positions. And here's TLB. This has been on the blog as a long the last month or so, and we have been watching this symmetrical triangle form off a gap up in July. And I think we're looking at the beginning of a breakout. It wasn't really all that impressive on volume, but it was a pretty nice move, up almost 4.5%. And we could see really good accumulation in this stock. I'm going to zoom in a little bit tighter here. Let me just get a sip of water. Excuse me. I'm not used to talking so much. And you can see money stream is just in a leading divergence. It's not a relative divergence, it's actually leading price up quite a bit higher. And in this consolidation, this is a continuation pattern, a symmetrical triangle. It's a consolidation pattern. You'd expect to see a breakout of this as it reaches this pinnacle or this apex. And throughout, we've seen nice buying in BOP. Money stream has stayed very positive with an upward bias to it. And time segmented volume also has stayed fairly positive. So I'm looking tomorrow for a little bit more strength. Ultimately, we need to penetrate this $22 level, and I do think that will happen. And I think it's a pretty nice position, especially if you can buy on a pullback towards this apex. We'll see. Let's take a look at another. And this is THOR, THOR Tech Corporation. This is another that's been on the long list recently. And we see, again, this similar pattern. And we have our lower lows here. And all of a sudden, we are making a higher high. So it looks like this area here function as our accumulation area, where perhaps smart money or who knows, so somebody's accumulating in this area. Get this breakout and a pullback to this former resistance area, which is now acting as support. If we take a look at the accumulation indicators here, we will see the BOP buying really the most of the selling was kind of occurring back here in April, according to BOP, and then in May we started to see some accumulation, some buying as the stock continued down. So June, July, we have a nice little accumulation present here, and all the way from April, where we said, this BOP was showing that selling, we have this low in TSV, and even though price has been on a downward bias or downward trend, TSV has been on an upward trend. So this is a contradiction, more or less. You'd expect TSV to continue showing distribution or selling, but in fact we're seeing accumulation, which has led to this move. So all in all, THOR looks really good, and I think it's in a buyable position right now. It has pulled back more or less to about 14, and I think it's a buy there. My trend channel right now, which may be a little narrow for this particular stock, but it's showing a stop around 14. So I think that's agreement there that this is a very nice level to buy or to add to THOR. And next up, another long INGR, which is Intergraph Corporation. And again, you can see this area of accumulation in here. The price is now gapped up on big volume in here, and is in the early stages of markup. It's also in the breaking out of an ascending triangle right there, the last 2 days here and here. And you could see just on this screen, TSV's moved above zero. It looks pretty productive here. Let's take a look at the accumulation in detail. And we see the June selling climax down here. TSV's at lows there, and in July we start to see some light accumulation. TSV moves up, and now we're solidly above that zero level. So I'm not sure that this is a buy at this moment. Let's take a little closer look here. Ultimately, I'd like to buy it around 36 if it would pull back for us. If not, you could buy it right here and say, well, I'll have a stop below 36 and take a smaller position maybe. But all in all, I think this was also on the blog last night. There's that stop channel, and you can see it's sitting about 34.50 or so. Okay, that's it for that one. I'm going to move on real quick to HH, which is a pick from the tag board from Shinsei Kato. And let me clean that up. You're seeing a big symmetrical triangle. I think this is acting as a base. And what we're seeing here is leading divergences in money stream and a very positive profile in TSV above that zero line. Lots of buying going on here in BOP. So I think HH in this area is really a perfect buy. Let's take a closer look there. 280 would be a beautiful area. But remember what we said about triangles. They break as this apex tightens up. And we're getting very close to that level with HH. So I'd keep an eye on that one. And next up is SEAC, which has been on the blog a couple times recently on the long list. Again, May, June, July, a period of consolidation that we're pretty much still in. And if we look at the accumulation indicators, they're very strong here. We could see price continued throughout February, March, April, May to slide, whereas TSV was building, BOP was building, money stream was building, and ultimately we're going to have to see a breakout above that 750 level, and I think that's coming in SEAC. More water, excuse me. Let's take a look at a couple more while we have time on this video. SGEN is another long, and again, this familiar pattern. It's kind of bottomed out here through May, June, July, August. In here, we're in a tighter consolidation right now. If we take a look at accumulation indicators, looking very strong. BOP showing a lot of buying throughout May, June, and July. TSV above that zero line and actually trending up through the same period. And of course, money streams in a leading divergence. It's at highs that we haven't seen this year. So the price has been much higher, and I expect that we will see SGEN head much higher. One last one I'm going to try to squeeze in here. And these are not really comprehensive, chart readings, of course, but I just want to give you some ideas and what I'm looking at. The July-August bottom over here, and we're in a consolidation phase. And it looks like today we actually saw a breakout. Let's take a closer look there, and there it is. Here's our resistance level right in here. And today we got that breakout. Volume was not very inspiring, so we might want to see a little bit more on that. Maybe we get a follow-up move tomorrow, and potentially we'll get a pullback to this level around 1725 or so. Again, that would be a fantastic buy at 1725, I think. And here is my screen that I use to confirm my long positions. We can see the 10-day moving average is just now breaking above that 22. My custom cumulative indicator is just moving above its moving average, and RSI is above 0. So all in all, I think I like what I see there. I currently have a stop in place on that one at about 16. But I think this one heads higher. I think we're just entering the early stages of markup. So you're really getting in very early on this trend. For all intents and purposes, you're buying the bottom, and which is as close as we get to it, more or less. And I will be back with some short ideas.